Then we start with the night from sunset until dawn. Now this period between dawn and sunrise is the middle period. Therefore, this period is considered to be the middle one. And Salat al-Fajr is that one. And then they say, usually, people are resting at the time. They are sleeping. They are enjoying their sleep. Therefore, they become absent-minded about their prayers. They tend to forget or not to stand up for the prayers. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is committing them to do their prayers. And we have so many hadiths, so many narrations, brothers and sisters, about the morning prayers. About the morning prayers. It is the duty not only of the parent himself to stand up and do the prayers in the Fajr, rather to wake up all the family. His wife, the wife will wake up the husband, they wake up the children, all for the Salat al-Subh, for the Fajr prayers. The ulama say that if you know that you will not get up for the morning prayers, for Fajr prayers, it is haram to sleep. You cannot sleep unless you know that you will wake up. Put a clock, an alarm to wake up. There is a narration. It says that if the wife gets up for the prayers and finds her husband snoring and sleeping and doesn't get up for the prayers, you see the little cup that you take to the bed with you with the water, just take some and throw it in his face. This is a hadith. And likewise for the husbands, when they get up for the prayers and see their wife sleeping, take little drops, provided you don't cause trouble. Make sure that your spouse is not a boxer, otherwise God knows what happens. And then throw little drops on his face to wake him up or wake her up for the morning prayers. Why is it so? We have a narration that if you don't do one wajib, fariḍah, one prayer fariḍah, in the day, Allah will not accept any of your a'mal. Meaning that if you forget, if you were sleepy and didn't get up for Salat al-Fajr, that day, rest assured, put yourself in the bed and sleep, because Allah will not accept any of our a'mal. This is a hadith, this is a narration. We hope that it is not right. Otherwise, how many morning prayers we miss? You see that we wake up until 3 o'clock, 3:30, just 30 minutes before the prayers, we go to bed. Somebody who goes to bed 1 hour before the prayers, will he wake up? Even if you explode a bomb, he never wakes up. Therefore, it is haram, my brothers and sisters. And this is especially to the younger generation. When you stay up late and before prayer you go to bed, make sure that you wake up for Salat. Salat will give you blessing, will give you the mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will divide the provisions, the arzaq, right at dawn. At that time, Allah will tell you, this much you will gain today. That much you will gain today. So if you are asleep, meaning that you have missed everything. So the ulama say Salat al-Fajr. Other ulama say no, it is Salat al-Dhuhr, because it started, the prayers was mandated on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and he started with the first prayer. That prayer was Salat al-Dhuhr. Therefore, it is Salat al-Dhuhr. We have a narration from an Imam al-Sadiq. Other ulama say it is ambiguous. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said Salat al-Wusta and made it ambiguous, so we should care for every prayers we do. How long does the prayer take? If we kill ourselves 1 daqiqah per rak'ah, right? We have 17 rak'ah. How many daqiqah? How many minutes? Not more than 17 minutes. Is that too much that we dedicate 17 minutes of our 24 hours time for the prayer? Is it too much for Allah to ask for such a thing? We grab the phone and we talk for 45 minutes with our relatives, with our friends. We sit down and watch TV for so long. We waste our time in eating and drinking and sleeping. But once it comes in the prayers, we don't know at what time we say Allahu Akbar and what time we say Assalamu Alaikum. as if this is a huge burden, like a big rock sitting in our chest. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it ambiguous, so we pay attention to our prayers. Just like Laylatul Qadr. How many Laylatul Qadr we perform the A'mal? At least 3 nights, right? But in actuality, it is only one. We have only one Laylatul Qadr. We don't have multiple ones. But why the Imams and the Prophet has made it 3 or more? So we can do more prayers. We worship Allah more. We take the opportunity of Ramadan. The same thing when He has said Al-Wasta, to make it ambiguous for us, so we practice more and more and pay attention to our prayers. Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So, the ayah says, حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى. Salat al-Wusta, we discussed it. Then it says, be guardian of your prayers. How do we be guardian? How do we guard our prayers? There are multiple explanations. Again, I'm going to go over them very briefly. The first one tells you punctuality. Be punctual on the prayers. When you hear the adhan, stand up for the prayers. Prepare yourself. Do not waste your time. There is no other job more important than your prayers. When it becomes dhuhr at 1:10, 1:20, go prepare yourself. Do the wudu, stand up, leave your job for 5 minutes. Salat al-dhuhr, 4 rak'ah, those are 4 minutes. Salat al-asr, another 4 rak'ah, those are another 4. 8 minutes. You can't dedicate 8 minutes of your time. Once you hear the adhan, leave up everything. You want Allah to respond to you when you do the dua, the prayers, right? Or you want Him to wait for 2-3 years and give you back what you asked. So the same thing. When He calls upon you, He's inviting you for the prayers. Why should we wait? What's the point of waiting and waiting? The waiting is for those who are in an emergency situation, who cannot do their prayers. But you who are sitting in the office or sitting at your home doing nothing, why would you wait for your prayers? Once you hear the adhan, go do the prayers. One man came to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam and told him, Ibn Rasulullah, I know a friend of mine who deliberately delays his prayer. He doesn't do it on time. He said that this guy, if he's forgiven on the day of judgment, he will be mawtur. Mawtur, what does it mean, mawtur? Mawtur, someone who does not have a family. Meaning that if he goes to the heaven, he doesn't have a family. Basically, he doesn't have a home. No palace for him to sit. Every day he will visit one of the guests, sit with the guest. He does not have a family in the day of judgment. And Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, that person is like a mawtur. Does not have, so you better do your prayers. And we have a narration says that as-salatu fi awwali waqtiha jazur wa fi akhir waqtiha usfur. Meaning that at the beginning, the reward that you get is a comparison between a camel, that you slaughter a camel, if a guest coming to you, and you provide them with a big camel. You feed them on a camel. How much does the camel feed? 100 people. So at the beginning, it's like you are slaughtering a camel. But at the end, it is like a little hummingbird, tiny little hummingbird. This is how it's reduced in value. So number one, حافظوا على الصلاة, be punctual. The second meaning for حافظوا على الصلاة, meaning that pay attention to the conditions of the salat. We have the preconditions for the prayers. What are the preconditions? Number one, your wudu should be correct. The ablution that you make, it should be correct. Let's ask ourselves, do I know how to do an ablution? Or still I have no idea? Or when I do the water, I just throw it right here. Have we ever grabbed the risala and read it? Or have we asked someone who's knowledgeable to show us how to do the prayers? You know, all of you know the story of